Good morning, everyone. Let's pray. We did before, and we'll pray again. Knowing that God, love, strength, health, joy, all the attributes of God are in us, and they are in everyone else in the world, whether they know it or not, and in many different ways. And they are surely in our meeting together today. And we go into it expectant of good. And we receive good because our expectations are real and filled and centered in God. We know that God is in us and provides exactly what we need and what we want, what we truly within our hearts want. Knowing that everything is received already and it's just for us to open up the Valentine's Day present today, tomorrow, because each day is Valentine's Day. So, having said that, I'm going to sing some more because I'm not only a talker, I'm a singer. And I'm going to raise the key a little bit, put on my capo. My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. Your lips are laughable, unphotographable, yet you're my favorite work of art. Is your figure less than Greek? Or is my mouth a little weak? When I opened it to speak, am I smart? Don't say it. But don't change a hair for me, not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine, stay. Each day is Valentine's Day. I love that song, even though it sounds somewhat insulting. The heart part is bigger than the insulting part, and the insulting part is just in fun anyway. But the real reason why I love that song is because of the last couple of lines. Each day is Valentine's Day. And that's what I truly want. No, I don't want to have to go every night before and have to buy hearts and Valentines and cards and make calls and everything else that you can do on Valentine's Day. But I want every day to be supremely and superbly loving. That's why I chose, Neil called me up many weeks, months ago. No, not many, because I believe it was in fall or early winter, and asked me if I would like to do one of these days. And he mentioned February 14th. And of course, just like December 25th, I know what February 14th is. You don't have to say Valentine's Day. I just know it, you know? And so it sounded, oh, that'll be easy. Well, it's not quite as easy, you know, talking about love, because love is such a huge subject. Love is really just like God. It is God. It's everything. You know, even sometimes things don't seem loving, but they are love anyway, because God love is behind it all. And yes, each day is Valentine's Day. I'm so glad, by the way, that I do have some papers and notes actually to have the whole talk in front of me, but I'm trying not to read it because I think that would sound very stilted and robotic. And I don't really want to sound stilted and robotic unless I'm really nervous. And I don't think I'm nervous. I just am filled with adrenaline, filled with lots of energy today, because just being around us, being around you, living human beings, and I can see you all blinking your eyes and all that. And I hope you can see me. I don't know why my form is darker, because I have every light in this room turned on that I can. But anyway, I want to talk about what Valentine's Day has meant for me, been for me in the past. And I'm going to go start out with a good thing. I went to a private school because my mom and dad were teachers there, and they got the tuition for free for me and my two brothers. I mean, my two brothers and I. But it was Sidwell Friends. Perhaps you've heard of that private school in Washington, D.C. on Wisconsin Avenue. But anyway, I went there for the entire, actually 13 years, because I went to a thing called transition, which was kind of like kindergarten. And we started in lower school, which was, we didn't call it elementary school, we called it lower school because this was a private school. And Valentine's Day and before Valentine's Day was really done superbly well by all of my lower school teachers. If you wanted to bring a Valentine, give someone a Valentine, that was fine. Everybody in the class, which sounds overwhelming. But really, you knew where they were, you knew where their desks were, because you've been around them for days and days and weeks and weeks. And so get one of those packets, choose the card that looked the best for that person. And they were all kind, they were all nice, they were all silly, and they were heart-shaped and loving, and they had envelopes for each one, and you would write their name on the envelope, and then you would write, sign love, not love Norman, but your friend Norman. That sounds sort of more kind of appropriate. And before you seal the envelope up, you could take from a bag of all those silly little candy hearts, which were kind of outrageous, some of them, and drop a few in each one of the envelopes. And my parents, who did not like us to eat candy, let us go on that one. We'd have a few candies on that day, and we'd put them in the envelope and take it to school, and everybody would get a Valentine. That makes me choke up, because that to me is the way it should be. In fact, mom and dad, on our birthdays, my brothers and I were required, when it was our birthday, not only to receive gifts, which is fun, but we had to go get a gift for everybody else in the family. Mom, dad, older brother Bruce, younger brother Robert. I had to get one for each one of them. Make something or do something, sharing the love, not just receiving it. Receiving is good. So that was great. But not everything, in my opinion, was done quite right, because there were other places. For instance, in gym class or recess, it might be baseball season, and I was a horrible baseball player. I was a horrible football player. Sports, I pretended that I liked them, but I really, wanted nothing to do with them. I like to exercise, walk, and take hikes back home, because we had 30 acres in Virginia, where you guys are, and which to hike around it. I will try not to, I think I've only taken 4 minutes. Anyway, so it was time to choose up teams, and the coach would get 2 boys because the boys had gym separate from the girls, and they would choose off 2 teams, and everybody would get to be in it. However, some people would be first, the best players, and some people would be last. And one person would be very last. Guess who it was? Yes, you're right. It was me. And sometimes they might forget because they really didn't want me in there. They didn't hate me. They just didn't want me to, miss the ball and the other team win and all that kind of stuff. And I was so devastated. I can recall many times every tear in my body came out, and I just cried loudly and piteously. I can remember that, and I can still feel the hurt from that. And so, I wish it was more like the Valentine's Day thing with the cards. And another thing that I remember about school was in high school, and it was time for those big formal dances. I might have gone to 1 or 2 of them. I didn't really care about them. I couldn't dance well and all that kind of stuff. And I had all kinds of reasons. But this one isn't about me. This one is about the other ones. For instance, the senior prom. That's the really big one. And the girls get to dress up to the nines, and the guys get to wear their suits and coats and ties, which would be appropriate if the girls are all dressed up. But guess who went to the senior prom? The ones who had dates. Some boys were too shy or only wanted the most beautiful of the girls. And so a lot of people, particularly the girls, or the guys who just stayed at home and pretended they didn't care, did not get to go to the dance. So how can you call that a senior prom if only a certain select group gets to go to it? Now, I understand it's changed today, and you can go to the senior prom, date or not, and wear your fun, fancy clothes and all that, and everybody gets to show up, and everybody gets to, if you can't dance with a boy and you're a girl, you dance with the other girls, and, it's nice. But, I really, really, truly, within my heart, want to see changes like that. And that's part of what I mean, actually, when I'm thinking about Frank Sinatra and the guy who wrote the song, Each Day is Valentine's Day. I want Valentine's Day. I want big love and caring for others, all others, to be every day. And, it can be, well, let's just say I picked a word. I'm going through my notes and following along. I don't like feeling disincluded, and I don't like seeing others being disincluded. And I'm glad people have become more sensitive to others who don't quite look like them, or they're not the same age, or they may be handicapped, and they may not be the same race or gender or sexual preferences and all that. I just want everybody to love each other. I know that sounds Pollyannish, but something, I think it's about time to have some more Pollyannas, because to me, if the world is going to be healed and repaired from the virus, but from other things, I think it could be healed from the virus just by having more love, energy. Okay, well, now I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about Valentine's Day today. And when I was shopping for Patty is my wife, And I won't say anything, Patty. She's not listening, I don't think. She may have her computer on. I don't see her name up there. Um, but the way I have approached Valentine's Day in some of my more enduring relationships, and I did have a marriage before this, what I would do. Of course I would want to get a Valentine card. Of course I'd want to get some of those nice hearts and flowers. And of course I'd want to maybe go out to dinner or bring home a Chinese meal or something that would just be a physical evidence of my love for that person. And I did get Patty a really pretty big container of hearts. I made sure there were dark chocolates in it because she doesn't generally like to eat dark chocolates. That would mean I get to share it with her. And she just likes milk chocolate. But, I got all that stuff and just kind of in my head, yes, I wanted to get it for her, but I thought, oh, I'm safe now. I feel kind of like the guy, I got everything I need to, and I can check it off, and I didn't forget it. It's a little bit easier with Valentine's Day than it is for birthdays and anniversaries, because everybody knows it's Valentine's Day, but only my wife and I know that it's her birthday or our anniversary. So if I forget, there's no one to remind me except her after I've forgotten. And it's happened once or twice. And boy, do I feel terrible when that happens. And so I'm going to go back to that original topic, which is really what I wanted to talk about. And that was, I'd really like Valentine's Day to be the 365 days, and I want people to expand their definition of love. I think us, unity, and I'm a religious scientist, but really we're all new thought. And we know that love has many names, just as God does, and they're both the same: love, kindness, compassion, givingness, forgiveness, respect, patience, joy, courage, faith, working, reaching out, caring for one another. There's so many words and phrases that talks about what we need to do. And when it's time to get things changed, instead of criticizing other people, maybe what we should do, and you should see my coffee cup. I did get it clean finally, but I often just pour coffee in it, put it away in a cupboard, a special cupboard, which is my cupboard. And it gets darker and darker inside. I mean, that's gross. I'm sorry, but I'm the only one that has to look at it. Eventually, I get down to get one of the scrub brushes and I scrub it clean. And my spiritual mentor, Jean Brown, whom I knew in West Virginia, we all came there to build a cathedral, which is a whole nother story. And it did get built eventually. But in the meantime, she came in with an article about scrubbing your cup, which kind of means taking care of your own life and your own things you need to correct, before you start telling other people what's the matter with them. How about looking at yourself and doing little things to improve things for yourself? So what can you do on that huge amount of days, like 365 days? Well, the one day is taken care of, Valentine's Day, and maybe the whole week after that, because it's you're still kind of feeling the rush of the Valentine's Day, for the rest of the week, as I'm sure I will now. Well, what can you do to be loving every day? Wayne Dyer said, you go out on the street and you will be in your intention of helping and loving for others than just for yourself, although that's a good thing to love yourself. But if you see a scrap of paper or trash in an old pop bottle on the ground, is to pick it up and hopefully recycle it, but at least throw it away. You are living in intention. You are helping in a small way. Somebody might see you doing it and they'll start picking up trash now and then when they can, you know. Sometimes I go back from walking the dogs and my pockets are full of pop bottles and water bottles, you know. Um, and my neighbor told me he'd been watching me. He said, "Oh, there goes Norm again, picking up trash in the neighborhood." Well, I'm happy that he sees that, and I don't mind him saying that. And he said it all over our little neighborhood website, you know, that's what Norm does, you know. And I'm delighted that he would say that. Now, another thing that I started doing when I started walking, have two dogs, you got to take them on walks. You walk around the neighborhood, is that I will start seeing other people walk their dogs and people who are in their yards working in their gardens. And I'll just plain say hi. Eventually, I'll ask who they are, their name. And if I forget, a couple of days later, I'll ask them, "What did you say your name was?" You know, um, but just saying hi to people. When I started working at my job at the Maryland Food Bank, which is what I'm doing full time right now, I'm only a part-time musician because of this whole thing. You know what I mean? I don't want to mention his name. Um, well, anyway, uh, am I losing track? I shouldn't be because I have all the papers in front of me. But on any account, there are loving things that a person can do every day. Yeah, when I started my job, there we go. I just started out the first day and I saw as many people as I could and I introduced myself and I told them my name. I didn't know much. I'm not much of a conversationalist, but I did say hi and I did ask their name and I told them who I was. And I try to do it every day as soon as I come in there. The rest of the day I'm silent. But when it's time to go home, I'll say, "Bye, see you later." And I'll know, by now I know just about everybody's name because I've been there for almost a year, you know. And it's just, oh, here's another one. Unity, because my parents started out at Unity. They eventually went to Unity of Fairfax, but they started out in Unity in Washington, D.C. in a big hotel there. And I went there with them. They invited me one time to go with them. And I couldn't believe at the end of the thing where they were doing the peace song, and you had to hold hands with people you didn't know. And it wasn't just beautiful girls, it was everybody. Well, it ended up, I think everybody's beautiful. So I'm happy to hold, I don't care whose hand, you know, if they want to hold mine, I want to hold them because I want their love and I want to give them mine. And even scarier than that, that day mom and dad took me there, is I actually had to because somebody grabs you and hugs you. Now, I know we're not supposed to do that, but that's how it was in the early days when we were figuring out how to do it. I gave everybody hugs, you know, and they gave me hugs. So I learned to hug. And now I sometimes am somewhere out in public. And of course, I'm careful these days, but I might, instead of shake somebody's hand, I might give them a hug and they'll kind of look at me. And I'll say, I'm just a Unity person. Don't worry about it. That's just what we do, you know. Oh, tell me about your church, you know. So I just really want everyone to be loved. And I think we're kind of running a little bit into time. Okay. And work has taught me so much because there's such a variety of people. I'm a minority. There's only 2 or 3 of us white people there. And that's so wonderful because I get to learn other cultures. We have Hispanics there, and they don't care how much I butcher Spanish. I just speak the few words I know, and they speak the few English words they know. And I can't think of anything else. I found that Hispanic people love to laugh. And sometimes I just do goofy things. I'll say, "Arriba, arriba," and we all laugh, you know, just because it makes the day go better, you know. And many, many Black folks, young folks, men, women, they're all quite young. They were absolutely freaked out and shocked out of their minds when I told them that I was 73 and a half years old. They were freaked out because everybody there is 20 and 30. There's a few 40-year-olds, and some of them have gray on their beards, you know. But we get along fine. I don't have any enemies. Now, I have people I like a little better than others that I talk to more, but it has been such an experience for me. But we do not have the whole world included yet. And I'm going to go back to dear old Dad. We lived out in the country, not west on Leesburg Pike from Tyson's Corners. You know where Leesburg Pike is? Route 7 that goes to Leesburg, right? And I think it goes to Winchester too. And then Winchester, if you're going to West Virginia, you pick up Route 50. But on any account, when we would drive on the little country roads around home, if there was a turtle in the road, Dad would stop the car, put on the flashers, and go out, or get one of us to go out and pick up the box turtle and put it somewhere where it wouldn't get run over. Or if there was a snake, we might have some kind of a can or a blanket to pick it up with, you know, and do that. If the snake would be caught in the chicken house wanting to eat chicken eggs at home, instead of killing it, we put it in, Dad would put it in a can and we drive out to somebody else's farm and just dump it there, you know? Certainly better for the snake than killing it, you know? And there are no bad snakes. There are no snakes I've known in my life that try to get me to eat apples that tell about everything, you know what I mean? And there are no bad wolves. There's no big bad wolves. That's just silly stories, which I regret. I'm just going to conclude this with all animals are good. I have volunteered for them. Cats and dogs are good, but so are wild animals. So are rats and mice and bugs and stink bugs. Why? Who are they filled with? Who created them? The same one that created us. That's who they are. And just like trees and plants and rocks and dirt and all kinds of things created by the same creator, we need more love. We need more respect. Can't do it all at once, you know. I'm a vegan. I don't even eat them. We can't do it all at once, but we can really strongly consider. We can be like the Native Americans and some other cultures, and we can, you know, thank God and thank the soul of the animal if we're about to eat, and bless it, and just have spirit and love and gratitude for this being that has sacrificed its life willingly or unwillingly so that we can have our nourishment, you know? You know, just gratitude, or the tree that was cut down so the boards can make up our new house, you know? Let's have some love, let's have some gratitude. Okay, enough of the serious stuff. I'm sure it'll be in your head when we're long gone today and we're doing our other things. So, one thing that I really like is the old-timey songs, because I think they can really be, or maybe they are, love songs to the divine, to our beautiful sweetheart called God. Because they're all about good, they're all about fun, they're all about humor, they're all about just deep, deep love. Well, grab your coat and get your hat, leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear that pitter-pat? And that happy tune is your step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. How about this one? I'm in the mood for love, simply because you're near me. You are God, you're right inside me. Funny, but when you're near me, I'm in the mood for love. I'm going to do another favorite one. I give to you and you give to me true love, true love. So on and on it will always be true love, true love. You can look up the rest of the song. When I'm really at one with the divine, here's a good song to sing with. Sing. Are the stars out tonight? I don't know if it's cloudy or bright, 'cause I owe the advice for you, dear. Oh, the moon may be high, but I can't see a thing in the sky, 'cause I only have eyes for you. There are so many songs I could go on and on. They are love songs to the divine. Yes, they are to the romantic partner, to friends, to family, etc. But the divine is in the romantic partner. The divine is in the stranger. The divine is in cats and dogs, snakes and wolves, and stink bugs. So I could go on and on. I'm quite capable of doing that when I get on a rush. But I want to thank you all very much. And I'm going to just do a quick prayer. The presence of God is within each and all of us. And we are all wonderful. We are all geniuses. We are all important. We are all so capable of doing what we do, and that is enough. But we're capable of doing even more, and that is enough too. We are guided by our inner light as to what we should do, what we want to do, and it is all good. It is all God, and we are so grateful for our community that helps us and encourages us along every step of the way. And closing this with gratitude, we can all say, and so it is. Thanks, everyone.